Can you differentiate fuel retail with loyalty? In this episode, we discuss the importance of loyalty programs and customer loyalty in the fuel retail and convenience industry with Tatiana Wettbo, Sales Director, and Guy Smits, Product Manager at Dover Fuel Solutions. Listen as we examine what differentiating through loyalty really means for fuel retailers, the benefits of implementing a loyalty program, the importance of customer data, and if a loyalty program on its own is really enough to determine service station success. When it comes to the competitive market of fuel retail, many service stations are implementing the same tactics to win and keep customers, making it difficult for them to stand out from the competition. One of the ways retailers try to differentiate themselves is by delivering added value services such as loyalty programs. So, can retailers really differentiate themselves with loyalty? Today, with the help of Guy Smits and Tatiana Wettbo, we're going to find out. Hi Guy, Tatiana. Let's jump right in. So, Tatiana, how important are loyalty programs in fuel retail?
Hi, first of all, hi Sarah, hi Guy. I think loyalty programs are becoming critical in the fuel retail business, and I think why these programs are becoming critical. I think Sarah, you already mentioned it, that every fuel retailer wants to differentiate, and I think because fuel today is a real commodity, so customers will basically decide on price or proximity. So, and here loyalty program can actually change that dynamic. So what you want to do with a loyalty program, you want to go from a transactional business where you have irregular customers, irregular purchases, to a more, I would say, emotional and relationship space where you can create a habit with your customer, where customer comes regularly to your station, and then customer receives a different kind of benefits within, I don't know, your products or special services you offer.
Yeah, stations can try to differentiate themselves from competitors in many ways. But if it comes to just the assortment in the shop, then we see that in most stations or companies that's quite similar. So where you want really to make the difference is how you connect the customers to your brand, to your stations. And then by means of a loyalty program, that's an ideal tool that you have to connect your customers to your size and to your brand.
Yeah. Now, of course, loyalty is fast becoming a hot topic for those who have not already implemented it.
And what are the benefits of implementing a loyalty program?
I think it can be many different benefits, and I think there are a couple of aspects. I think you want to drive additional revenue by increasing the repeat visits, but also increasing the basket, yeah, and the spend in your station on services or products or fuel. And I think probably most important thing today is actually the data. So you want to understand what your customers are buying, what do they prefer. You want to understand when the customers are coming into your station, which time of the day. And I think here the data can help you to from inventory to the marketing. So you can really understand your marketing and build your operation based on the data.
Makes sense. Angie, anything from your side?
No, it's like Tatiana already said. So it's really important to know your customer and what they spend when they come to your site, what combination of articles they buy. And it's by understanding your customer, knowing what they need, that you can optimize all the offers that you provide to them. Basically, you want to get to know your customer and then make the most efficient program that you can imagine.
Of course. And what key things should retailers or business owners take into consideration when investing in a loyalty program?
Again, here, I don't know, I see multiple aspects from different, from different views. One of the aspect is how easy is your loyalty program to sign in for your customers, how easy is for your customers to reuse the rewards and use that loyalty. And then there is another aspect, how do you actually integrate that loyalty program within your ecosystem or within your architecture, or within how do you integrate with point of sale, how do you integrate with forecourt, the payments, and all other dots. And also you want to have a loyalty program that can be flexible and adjustable, because your business might change, you might have different needs. And also we know, for instance, with COVID, how the customer behavior has changed. So you need to have a flexible system that can support you through the years to come, and maybe you will have different demands. So that's high level from my side.
Yeah, indeed, it's all about customer experience. So if the customer comes on site and he has to do 5, 6 additional steps just to get his promotion, to get his loyalty points, then the customer will walk really quickly far away from that. It has to be smoothly integrated in the transaction flow so that, yeah, for the customer, it doesn't feel that he has to do a lot to get all those benefits.
Yeah. No, understandably. And I think you have both kind of touched on this in the previous question, but in your opinion, is a loyalty program on its own enough to differentiate a service station or a mobility hub?
Well, when you look at the total experience of a customer, then it is more than only the loyalty program. It's a combination of everything. How you organize your shop, how the customer moves from one area to the other one, how you make sure that he visually sees things that attract him in the site. It's all about experience, and the loyalty program is just one aspect of it, an important one, but it is the combination of all those features that make that the customer becomes loyal to your company.
And here I can agree with Guy, because the customer journey in fuel retail, it has multiple steps. I think it's important for customer to feel this loyalty, this convenience through the whole journey, from the dispenser or EV charger in the shop or making the payment. So it's the full service kind of. This is what real loyalty will work, and if you really want to build this long-term relationship to your customers, so every step has to be thought through and every dot has to connect to make this experience as enjoyable as possible for your customer. So you want to be convenient for your customer, you want to have consistent offering, consistent service, and you want to build trust with your customer at every step of the journey.
Yeah, of course, of course. And again, you mentioned data collection earlier on, but how important is obtaining and then understanding customer data for fuel retailers and then subsequently service station success?
You could run a lot of campaigns on sites, but if you want those campaigns to be successful, then you have to know what your customers want, what your customers buy. You will need to compare it with customers that do not have a loyalty card, so random customers on your site, and only in those circumstances, knowing all that data, you can introduce efficient campaigns, increasing your sales. So knowing your customers is just absolutely key in this whole loyalty program.
I think the key point where loyalty wants to come in, we talked a little bit about data and all these connected dots, that we want to create personalized real-time offers. So let's say I'm a vegetarian. I actually would not appreciate, let's say, to get campaigns for burgers. So if a fuel retailer knows that I'm consistently buying vegetarian products, so a personalized campaign towards me as a vegetarian will be welcome, because then I will feel that yes, fuel retailer really knows me, and all these promotions are really tailored to my space, to what I prefer, to who I am. So that's pretty much about that, because this relation is really also on emotional level.
Yeah, it's intangible, isn't it? That kind of relationship that you're building, it in a way, the data and how you use it and how you understand it can really help retailers show their consumers that they care. So I think it's some really valuable insights there.
Yeah,
Thank you.
a very good point. I'm curious to know, can retailers earn their customer loyalty, and if so, how?
Yeah, again, we are coming to this emotional space. So, and again, that we should know, or retailers should know the customer should do, the experience convenient as possible at every stage, offer, services and tailored specific products and campaign. So it's again, it's not only about the discounts as such, it's about the whole experience.
And the customer must just feel that he has a benefit by joining that loyalty scheme from an oil company. Because if he just keeps on saving points during years, but he doesn't get anything in return, then you're going to lose, of course, that customer. So you really need to make the customer feel important for you on the station when he visits you and when he starts shopping.
I think that's a key word you use there, is importance and the feeling of importance, Guy. I think that's what a lot of consumers now have come to expect from every retail experience, and the fuel station should be no exception to that. So in your opinion, can retailers differentiate their service stations with loyalty? And how can they do that with DFS products and solutions?
I think we were talking about, the loyalty as a standalone component, and we said that, the standalone component in a site architecture doesn't really work. It has to connect with all other stages of a customer journey. And here actually our platform Prisma comes into play, our DFS product, that can actually provide this possibility to connect the forecourt, and here we mean, dispenser, an EV charger, connect the loyalty app, connect the payments, mobile application, and all other surrounding applications that create this ecosystem. So when these dots are created, only then we can say that we have moved to the next level, and we can provide this data which will be integrated in all the stages, and we can analyze the data, and we can go with, let's say, a further step and provide this personalized, real-time, tailored to specific customer offers. So I think that's the differentiator. And here we can help with our products to create such connectivity that this really comes to the customer and to the customer experience.
Of course. And
Yeah.
Guy, is there anything that you would like to add?
Yeah, what I wanted to add is that we want to offer loyalty options for all customers, all of our customers, whether that are smaller networks or larger oil companies, because the larger oil companies, they have other budgets, of course, and those smaller networks.
Mm-hmm.
They have very often loyalty schemes that they use in multiple countries. And so we offer, as DFS, always a total solution where we integrate those specific loyalty schemes of those companies. But of course, we want to serve all our customers. And so therefore, for those smaller networks, we have created a loyalty feature in our site system, which is quite generic. We don't supply the end host, the loyalty host, because there are many companies expert in that with which we have an excellent cooperation. So what we offer is a generic solution that everyone could use in connection with one of those suppliers of host services, where we have just an interface based on industry standards. And based on our knowledge that we have from all those implementations for those various oil companies, we know what loyalty means. We know how loyalty needs to work. And so in our generic loyalty application, we have combined as many features as possible that we could think of. And so if a smaller network wants to go for loyalty, they can just start using our generic application, just pick the pieces that they want and customize it up to their needs. And that's where I think that we are very strong, that we do not only focus on those big players on the market, but also for smaller networks, loyalty is important.
Yeah, of course. And it's like you mentioned there, it's not a one size fits all situation. It is dependent on the retailer's need and the size of the service station. And Tatiana, you mentioned that it's a connected solution. Loyalty is just one part of the bigger picture. And I think it's a really valuable insight that we can take away from this episode this afternoon. So thank you both very much for joining us. And we hope to speak to you guys again soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Thank
much.
you. All the best.
Thank you for listening to Differentiating Fuel Retail with Loyalty. We hope you enjoyed this episode with Guy and Tatiana. If you'd like to support the podcast, feel free to share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a review. To catch the latest from Dover Fueling Solutions, you can follow us on LinkedIn or visit our website at www.doverfuelingsolutions.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next month where we continue to fuel the conversation.